The whispers of Carterhaugh were a chilling melody on the wind, a morbid lullaby sung by ancient oaks and gnarled branches. They spoke of a place where sunlight dared not penetrate, where shadows danced with secrets, and where a handsome stranger named Tam Lin claimed a terrifying toll. Rings, cloaks, even maidenhood, these were the chilling tributes demanded by the enigmatic figure. Yet, Janet, a firebrand with hair the color of spun sunshine and eyes that held the defiance of a storm, refused to be swayed by mere whispers. Love, a force as fierce as a highland gale, raged within her. Tam Lin, a vision from a forgotten ballad, had stolen her heart with his enigmatic smile and eyes that held the secrets of twilight. The warnings of Carterhaugh were but pale whispers against the roaring inferno in her chest. One night, when the moon hid its face behind a shroud of storm clouds, Janet donned her emerald cloak, the rich fabric whispering promises of courage with every rustle. Her heart pounded a frantic rhythm against her ribs as she stepped into the shadowed embrace of the forest. The air grew thick with an unseen presence, a malevolent pressure that seemed to press down on her like a suffocating hand. The gnarled branches, twisted into grotesque shapes by the moonlight, reached out as if to snag her cloak and drag her deeper into the darkness. Yet, Janet pushed on, her love for Tam Lin a blazing torch that illuminated the path ahead. Finally, she emerged into a clearing bathed in the ethereal glow emanating from a well. There, astride a magnificent steed the color of midnight, sat Tam Lin. But a shadow lingered in his eyes, a darkness that spoke of a life beyond the mortal realm. His voice, when he spoke, held the melody of a mournful song, tinged with a chilling despair. He revealed a truth that sent a shiver down Janet's spine. He was a pawn in the cruel game of the fair folk, stolen away by the capricious queen of the fairies and bound to serve their whims. His face, usually so handsome, contorted with a deep fear as he confessed that every 7 years, the fair folk offered a tribute to a monstrous entity residing in the fiery depths of hell. And Tam Lin, the fairest of them all, feared his turn was nigh. Hope, a fragile ember, flickered to life within Janet's heart. With a voice trembling only slightly, Tam Lin revealed a desperate plan. On Halloween night, under the cloak of a moonless sky, the fair folk would ride past Miles Cross, a desolate crossroads where the veil between worlds thinned to a whisper. If Janet dared to face them, she could pull him from his horse and claim him as her own. But this was no simple task. The Queen of the Fairies, a creature of ancient malice and boundless cruelty, would unleash a torrent of horrors to break Janet's resolve. Tam Lin would be transformed, twisted into monstrous shapes designed to turn her blood to ice and shatter her courage. She would have to hold him fast, no matter the terror that unfolded before her. Fear, a cold serpent, coiled around Janet's heart. Yet love, a warrior clad in the armor of unwavering devotion, roared louder. On Halloween, beneath a sky choked by swirling clouds that resembled phantoms in a cosmic dance, she stood at Miles Cross, the air crackling with unseen energy. The silence was broken only by the frantic pounding of her own heart. Then, a sound, the ethereal clanging of unseen bridles, growing louder with every passing moment. A spectral procession materialized, cloaked figures riding fantastical beasts with eyes that glowed like malevolent embers. Her breath caught in her throat as the riders streamed past. Black knights, brown knights, an endless blur of anonymous figures. But then there he was, Tam Lin, atop a magnificent white steed that shimmered with an otherworldly light. His face, etched with a silent plea, mirrored the terror that gripped Janet's heart. With a surge of adrenaline fueled by love and a desperate yearning to save him, Janet lunged forward, grabbing Tam Lin and pulling him from his horse. A shriek, filled with rage and the power of 1,000 storms, split the night. The Queen of the Fairies materialized, a grotesque caricature of beauty, her face contorted in a mask of fury. Tam Lin, his form rippling and morphing, began to writhe in Janet's grasp. Scales erupted across his skin, glinting like obsidian in the moonlight. A monstrous serpent, its forked tongue flickering with venom, replaced the man she loved. Panic threatened to consume Janet, but the memory of his loving gaze, a beacon in the storm, fueled her resolve. She held on, her knuckles white with the strain, the emerald cloak clutched in her sweaty hand. The Queen of the Fairies cackled, a sound that sent shivers down Janet's spine and made the very air crackle like a brittle branch in a winter gale. "Foolish girl," the Queen snarled, her voice dripping with venom. "You think you can steal a prize from the fair folk? Your love will not withstand the horrors I unleash." The serpent writhed, its body coiling around Janet's legs, its weight threatening to crush her. Its fetid breath reeked of damp earth and decay. Yet, Janet held on, digging her fingernails into Tam Lin's transformed flesh, the pain a dull echo compared to the fear that gnawed at her. With a flash of emerald light, the serpent vanished, replaced by a monstrous bear with fur the color of night and eyes burning like embers. It roared, a sound that shook the very earth, and lumbered towards the desolate woods, dragging Janet with it. But she wouldn't let go. Through gritted teeth, Janet whispered words of love and encouragement, reminding Tam Lin of their stolen moments, their whispered promises. Her voice, a fragile thread of defiance against the Queen's cackling laughter, seemed to flicker in the darkness. The bear, frustrated by her unwavering grip, reared up on its hind legs, its hot breath scorching Janet's face. Suddenly, the form shifted again, transforming into a ferocious lion with a mane the color of blood. It snarled, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth, and lunged at Janet's throat. Just as the lion's jaws were about to clamp down, a memory flashed in Janet's mind, Tam Lin's whispered warning about the final transformation. With a surge of desperate strength, she shoved the lion back, her emerald cloak catching on a gnarled branch and tearing slightly. The lion dissolved into a swirling vortex of fire, a terrifying inferno that threatened to consume them both. The heat was so intense that Janet felt her skin blister, her breath turned to ragged gasps, tears streamed down her face, a mixture of fear and a fierce determination to succeed. Remembering Tam Lin's final words, she threw back her head and screamed, a primal yell that echoed through the night. For love, for Tam Lin, she roared, her voice surprisingly strong despite the terror gripping her. The well, bathed in the moonlight that had finally broken through the storm clouds, pulsed with an otherworldly light. With a final, ear-splitting shriek, the fire solidified. Tam Lin stood there, naked and vulnerable, his skin glistening with sweat and tears. But he was human. Before the Queen's screech of fury could fully form, Janet flung her emerald cloak around Tam Lin, shielding him from the spectral gaze of the fair folk. With a strength born of desperation, she grabbed his hand and sprinted towards the edge of the clearing. The fair folk surged forward, but an invisible barrier held them back. The Queen of the Fairies, her face contorted in a mask of rage, screamed curses that echoed through the woods, but they were too late. As the first rays of dawn painted the horizon, Janet and Tam Lin stumbled out of Carterhaugh, the forest receding behind them like a bad dream. Exhaustion threatened to overwhelm Janet, but the warmth of Tam Lin's hand in hers kept her going. They walked for what felt like an eternity, the memory of the night's horrors etched into their very souls. Finally, as the sun climbed higher, painting the sky with vibrant hues, they reached a familiar path leading back to Janet's village. Relief washed over them, a sweet wave that threatened to drown them both. They emerged from the tree line, hands clasped tightly, and were met with gasps of shock. The villagers, fearing the worst, had gathered to search for Janet. When they saw the couple, battered and bruised but alive, a cheer erupted that echoed through the valley. That night, as they huddled by the crackling fire in Janet's cottage, the villagers listened in awe as Janet recounted their harrowing experience. Tam Lin, his voice hoarse but his eyes filled with gratitude, confirmed her tale. From that day on, Janet and Tam Lin were hailed as heroes. Their love, forged in the fires of fear and defiance, became a legend whispered from hearth to hearth to hearth, and Carterhaugh, though still shrouded in an air of mystery, no longer held the same terror. It was a place where love had triumphed, a testament to the unwavering courage of a young woman and the power of a love that defied even the fair folk.